To all the Patreon members, all the supporters, all the subscribers, I want to thank you guys for your support and your contributions made to the platform. It really means a lot to me. All right, so if you guys hear background noise, forgive me. I'm waiting on a mechanic and I'm outside making this video. It's early in the morning. All right, so check out the links in the description box below. RFG, for those that have been around long enough, y'all know what that means. Screen record news. All right, hopefully you're watching this on a mobile device, and let's get into it. So, 2 former GA school employees accused of having intercourse with students. I'm passionate about this subject matter because I find it disgusting, and it's crazy to me how you're still seeing stories like this come out every other week, right? In the article, and I've read other articles, they don't state how old these 2 women here are, right? But you could tell they look like they got to be in their 20s, like mid, maybe late 20s, but I would say mid 20s. And I've been talking about this for years, how a lot of these teachers are way too young to become high school teachers, all right? I feel as if high school teachers today, if they're female, even male teachers as well, you need to be a person of a certain age to where mentally you're far removed from high school, and they need a pay increase, all right? Because being a high school student and going after you graduate high school, going to college, right? And then from college, after you graduate, going back to high school as a high school student, when has your mind mentally removed itself from high school? You're in high school, you're under the, your parents' roof. Then if you're going to college, you might be living on your own. You might not be. You might be coming back home every single day. A lot of people like to get that experience of being on their own and, being responsible. Now, once you go to college, right? Once you go to university, that's when people do a lot of experimenting. So all the stuff that either they did or didn't do in high school, they're doing it in college, right? And then once they graduate, it's like now you're back in high school. So essentially you just kind of an overgrown adolescent, and you're back in high school doing almost the same things that you were doing to a certain degree, except you're the teacher now, you have a little bit more responsibilities, right? Maybe in high school when you were going to your school's football games as a cheerleader or as a fan in the bleachers, now you're still doing the same thing, right? A lot of teachers, they go to these games, school pride, stuff like that. But doing this, right, doesn't show that you're trying to be the responsible adult that's looking after your students. You don't have your students' best interests at heart. You're very selfish, thinking about yourself. And in your mind, it's like, hey, it don't matter who's around. It don't matter who I have at home, right? You just mess around with anybody, right? What you were doing in high school, because I don't know if these students that they messed around with were athletes or not, because I've read stories where these teachers were having intercourse with students that were like football players, basketball players. So mentally you haven't matured whatsoever. The same thing you were doing in high school, chasing after athletes, right, that were on the basketball team or the football team, you're doing that as a teacher all over again, right? And that's a sickness. There's been, several male teachers that have gotten caught over the years too, but like the majority of these cases are always female teachers. They got this list going around on social media of some like men with certain jobs that are considered the biggest cheaters, right? Right. These are the jobs that men have that they're the biggest cheaters. If they work in this industry, they're a cheater. They're more prone to cheat than these other jobs that are not on the list. I think it's hilarious because they don't know what they're talking about, right? I can create a better list than that, right? But it's funny. I chuckle, right? Then some men on the internet, they make these they make these posts, these memes of some of the biggest female cheaters with these jobs. What are their occupations, right? Nobody really puts high school teacher on there. Nobody puts teacher on there. Because you're seeing this every other week. At least in some of these other industries, you'll see nurse, right? Traveling nurse and stuff like that. At least if they're cheating or seeing somebody else, right? If they're not married, at least they're messing around with somebody that's an adult, right? Teachers, these are the real criminals right here, right? When they're messing around with their students. You do this to a male, if a male teacher did this to a female student, right, they would need therapy. You don't know how that event will change the course of their life. They probably had plans and aspirations when they were in high school to be something positive, right? Now it's kind of like, well, you know what? Since I've been exposed to this, now I want to work in the sex industry. And it's like, damn, these kids, they have a mother and father that love them and want the best for them, and they're willing to financially support their dreams, only for it to get thrown away. And you hear about this a lot, how, a lot of women in in these sex industries, right? Their background story, I'll just put it like that, right? Felt like they didn't really amount to anything besides that, so they just got in that industry. Flip this, you never know how this can affect male students, right? I think it's very irresponsible and sickening when you read in the comments section these guys talking about, where were these teachers when I was growing up? Because I guarantee, well, I'm not going to say I guarantee, but what if they weren't using protection, right? It shouldn't have happened in the first place, but what if they weren't using protection? What if, this person is about to, I'll just say, release, don't really know what to do, inexperienced, now this teacher's pregnant. There have been cases where a teacher was having sex with their minor student, got pregnant, now, then, they hit the student up for child support. There's several cases out there like that. So now it's kind of like, I can't even be a junior or a senior in high school. I can't even go to college, get a part-time college job, save up some money, start off in the industry that I want to get into, work my way up the ranks, potentially become, make more within my field, gain more experience, get another job, make more, or become a supervisor, or start up my own business. Can't just do that right away because I have the responsibility as a young teenager to take care of a child, and it's court ordered, right? These are predators right here that you're looking at. You shouldn't be hearing about women in their 20s at a high school. Some of these stories I've read, it was like, female teacher, 24, having sex with a high school student. What's a 24-year-old doing at a high school around kids? That seems to be the most, that's like the common denominator. Some of them are a tad bit older. But no, if you're going to be a teacher, you need to be over 35, right? And far removed from high school mentally. You need some time away from high school and college, right? You need to be at least 10 to 12 years mentally removed from school before you can become a teacher. That's just my opinion, right? So they don't really say too much in this article right here. It's a very short article. They just say that they're 2 former employees of the city of Calhoun School District are accused of having sex with students. They don't even give their age. One of them slept with 2 students. Another one slept with 1 student. Here's the thing, like, as you know, I don't have any kids, but I can only imagine what the parents are feeling like. What does a parent do if they have a child? This, you know, they trust that, you know, okay, I'm sending my child over to the school district. You know, we worked hard, right? We worked hard to be able to afford living in this neighborhood here, right? A good school district. I'm sending my child to school. Hopefully their teacher is teaching them the curriculum and helping them with their studies so that they could pass and move on to the next grade and then head on over to university. Only for somebody to get held back, you know, not so much scholastically, but get held back mentally because one of these teachers has been preying on them. Could you imagine like a male student, like how's a male student, like damn, I don't want to do this homework, like, you know, Miss So-and-so, like, you know, she talking about coming over. That could be dangerous. It's 4:30 in the morning where I'm at right now. Could you imagine like, all right, some teacher dropping your kid off in front of the house, like, hey, you know, just hit me up. I'll see you later. Then they leave out the car, hop over the fence, go through the house, through the, you know, sneak back inside. Like, your kid being out, your kid is not where they say they are, and anything could happen to them. I mean, if you hear in the background, there's trucks and vehicles driving left and right. Somebody, you know, a child could get hurt in the process. I don't want to go on and on about this. You know, whatever they give them, they deserve it, man. Because when you hear predator, you know, it's always like the face of it is always men. They don't ever look at women as predators. And it's like, oh no, it's only the teachers. You know, then you got older teachers that make certain advancements on kids that's unwanted and inappropriate also. I used to get kissed by teachers all the time when I was a kid, not knowing like, hey man, that was very inappropriate, because if a male teacher was doing that to a female student, a young female elementary school student, that male teacher would get removed and charges would be brought on that teacher, right? But anyways, hey man, I'm over them out. You guys take care. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.